All right, everybody, welcome to the maiden voyage of the Dad and Buried podcast with Mike and Pete. We hope you enjoy the first episode. We're going to be talking a little bit about what the podcast is about, who Pete the Mystery Man is.
Yeah, it's going to remain a mystery.
And maybe a little parenting advice. But don't worry, we won't be the ones giving it.
Let's do this.
All right, so it's the first episode of the Dad and Buried podcast because look at this beautiful place, right? We had to wait for the right real estate.
Yeah.
Before we wanted to launch this thing.
Well, we had to first of all buy.
We had to buy. Building. Well, and I bought the books.
Yes.
A lot of Pele. I'm a big. I don't think you knew that about me. Big Pele guy.
You are a big Pele fan, and just I think the way you organized the shelf was really
sublime.
Was really well done. So nice job.
Thank you. So we finally got. I mean, we know what everybody wants is another podcast from a couple of white dudes.
Thank God.
Yeah. So we're here.
Finally here.
Yeah, we made it.
We did it.
We made it. Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
We were biding our time this whole time.
Well, we had to get the fucking real estate.
Yeah, we had to close on this
entire building. A couple of
those
Pele books took a while. Anyway, so we're here. We're going to give this a shot. My blog is dying, so I'm going to rant over the airwaves.
Yeah.
You know, I'm adapting to the times. I'm still a young man.
Classic dead blog.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Manifesting itself on air.
Well, you know what? I'm still gonna write because I'm a writer first.
Is that right? Is that what we're gonna do here?
I'm not gonna write on the air. I'm going to speak my thoughts.
Anyway,
what you're not going to be getting from this podcast
is any useful information whatsoever.
or advice, right? Yeah. Because I have none to give. Mm-hmm. You definitely, nobody even knows who you are, so no one wants to listen to anything you have to say. I don't know why you're even fucking here.
I have the computer, so.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fucking
my computer.
Rubbing that computer in my face every chance you get. Anyway, so no, we're not going to be telling you how to parent your kids because we don't really know how to parent our own kids.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right. So like last night, I was on Instagram with Mom and Buried. Mm-hmm. And we were doing a little chat with some people, and some of them asked.
Mom and Buried is
my wife.
Of course, your
my
wife.
Yeah. It's not her actual name.
Right.
Although once somebody thought that my son was named Buried.
Yeah.
And it was like my blog was The Adventures of Dad and Buried.
Yeah.
No.
I've told people about Dad and Buried, and people are like, Dad and Bury?
Dad and Buried.
Buried.
Yeah. With Bill Hader.
Buried. Okay.
Anyway, and they asked us what our best piece of parenting advice is, and I'm like, I don't fucking have any. I don't know. I don't like to give it. It put me on the spot. Like I used to write a advice column on my blog.
You're like, don't do it.
No, but I would. It was fun because writing it, I could just write a bunch of jokes and then maybe give like a sentence of, sure, here, do this or you know. But when somebody asks me in person, why are you asking me?
Yeah.
And if someone
How
doesn't
did you
ask
get in my house?
And if I don't ask you and you give me advice. Yeah. Guess what? Hasta la vista, baby, right? We're not friends anymore.
I'm surprised you even were friends to begin with.
Yeah, the kind of person that gives unsolicited parenting
surprising.
advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, why are they in my life to begin with?
How did they get in your house? Why are you friends with me? Get out.
Well, we solved that problem. We're not friends anymore because it's an obnoxious thing to do.
Has that happened? How many times has that actually happened?
Has like somebody sought out my advice because I'm a world famous parenting blogger?
No. No. Has someone given you direct advice without you asking?
I don't know. Parenting? Well, so like on my blog or like on Facebook or whatever, people will respond to a joke or a blog post with their opinion on the matter.
They'll come at you with their own blog post.
Not that long.
Dueling blog
but
post.
They'll say something like, "Oh, you just don't do this," or "I didn't do that, so this doesn't happen," right? And you're just like,
I see.
Like literally shut your mouth.
Shut your face.
It's so obnoxious to comment on someone's shit and be like, well, I'm better than you because I did this. Yeah. But they try to act like it's advice, but in reality, they're just being superior. And the reason I don't like advice is because you don't know my life.
You don't know me.
You don't know my sons.
You don't know my story.
You don't know my wife. You don't know any of our situations.
You don't know my truth.
Well,
the truth is, you just don't have a lot of people in your life that
I trust.
You trust.
Right.
Yeah. So this is actually a big step forward in that whole.
It is the circle of trust.
Yeah.
And kind of getting
the fact that we bought
opening
this whole
myself
building.
up a little bit.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, look, I'm not gonna sit here. I'm gonna do on this podcast what I've been doing my whole fucking life, crushing it
Okay.
and making people laugh. That's it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And trashing my fucking kids
You got to do
because
that.
they deserve it. And when I trash my kids, I'm not necessarily trashing my kids. I'm trashing your kids.
Right.
I'm trashing all
Everyone's
kids. Right.
It's
No
time.
specific kid.
It's
but every single kid.
Yes.
Like the kid I was making fun of at the school event yesterday.
Yeah.
When somebody recognized me as I was tweeting derogatory remarks about a child.
Right.
So I saw this kid playing near my toddler.
What a dick.
Immediately. Yep. That's pretty much it. Now, first of all, I'm like, if one of your flying elbows comes anywhere near my 3-year-old, I'll bust you up.
How on earth do you and your family survive living in Brooklyn with all these people around?
Well, it's a dangerous
trying
place.
to become friends with you and trying to play with your son.
This kid wasn't trying to become friends with me. You know what he was doing? He was sitting there playing with blocks of some kind, and not like he's not 2 years old. He was like 7 or 8 or 9 or 10.
What a
right?
dick.
At what age does this not become a cruel tweet?
Okay.
But I saw the kid, and I saw that he was wearing a cutoff T-shirt, sleeveless T-shirt. And camouflage pants.
It was cut off at the arms. It wasn't cut off.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a half shirt. Unfortunately, it's not Shania Twain or whatever.
Because that would have been a pretty good look.
It would have been a good look. What he was wearing was atrocious, right?
Okay.
So he was camouflage pants.
Yep.
A sleeveless tee.
Okay.
And I immediately tweeted because I'm a good person and I saw a child I wanted to cut down to size. I tweeted, I don't know who I'm at a school event and I don't know who this kid wearing a sleeveless T-shirt and camo pants is, but I definitely know I'm not friends with his parents. Right? So I'm making fun of his parents too. The point is I'll make fun of all age groups.
And you went up.
As I'm typing this, as I'm trashing a child on social media to my many followers. A woman comes up to me, literally in the middle of me like typing. Yeah. And it's like, oh, hey, I follow you on Instagram. I didn't know your kid went to this school. And I'm like,
it wasn't her kid though.
Like covers. I don't know. I literally oh my
god.
I don't think it was, but it's not
so good.
Impossible, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. She gave me her name. I may or may not have remembered it correctly. She didn't give me her last name. I don't know if she follows me on Twitter. Yeah. But I mean, she would know. Like if she follows me on Twitter and she saw that, she knows that kid. Or
maybe she's on TikTok.
I don't really know what that is. Yeah, I've heard of it.
You should get into it.
I don't really know what TikTok is. Well, that's next, right? Once the podcast takes off.
Next stop, TikTok.
Right? Yeah. I literally have no idea what TikTok is. Videos? Is it like Vine?
There's no actual way to know.
If you didn't know, Pete and I are both over 40, and we're dads.
Yeah.
Pretty hip, I think. Nate here. We're pretty.
You guys are hip.
Our producer.
Okay.
See?
You got it.
There we go. We're hip.
Did not like the sound of the tone of his voice.
But the word hip, is
itself
so
not hip.
Awful. Yeah. That you just nullified.
Everybody's saying
the ultimate
I'm hip.
nullifier.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That's really bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I don't remember what I was talking about. So yeah, I talk shit
just
about my
waste.
kids.
You've just
I talk shit about your kids. I talk shit about
playing with blocks.
Strangers' kids. I talk shit about their parents. I'm not here to give advice. I'm not a good person. Okay. Why would I? You wouldn't want my advice.
The best part is you not only punch up.
I punch down. I punch sideways. You know what? I spend a lot of time punching myself because I deserve it most of all. All right, and I'm aware of that, people.
Yeah. Right.
Part of this is
it's self.
This is my penance, right?
Is it
this
your
is
penance
my
or is
gift to you?
The folks who are watching,
I forgot about the camera,
who have to watch this and are subjected to.
No one has to watch this, right?
No,
I'm not making anybody watch this. My
Look,
wife has to fucking watch it, although I can't even get my wife to read drafts of my book. True story.
Yeah. What,
honey? It's some bullshit. It's not very supportive.
Yeah.
She may have actually read some of it. I don't remember her comments. It's been a
so
while.
this is how it goes.
Very slowly procrastinating on this.
You come out swinging, and then you immediately walk it back.
Well, you know what?
You're like,
I'm trying to be fair.
The fuck?
I'm trying to be fair.
Oh, wait, actually, that was totally my fault, and I apologize.
What does this have to do with parenting, Pete?
I don't know, but it does strike me that advice. So I have three.
It's not my strong suit.
I have 3 kids.
Oh, here we go.
Well,
I have 2. Congratulations. You know what that means?
Yeah.
I'm a better decision maker.
Pretty sure it means I'm a better parent.
Well,
so
maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It probably means you're a better parent, but I'm smarter.
Well, I'm sure there'll be lots of time for people to figure that one out. But
hopefully there's lots of time.
But
we'll see.
Have you ever gotten advice from someone who doesn't have a child?
As a matter of fact, Pete.
Yes.
I have.
Oh my God.
Both online and off. I was one time.
That's the worst phrase
Both
I've ever heard.
Online and off.
I literally want to shut this all down.
Oh, you're going to be hearing a lot of shitty phrases. All right.
Well, we're in for a long time.
So I was at when my oldest, my first kid was like 2. We went on July 4th or Memorial Day or one of those patriotic holidays. I went to my hometown, and I went with my brother to a cookout, and some dude there who's the kind of dude who wears like he's really nerdy, but he wears like a scally cap. I should not be.
What's a scaly cap?
It's a scally cap.
Scally. What is that?
It's like something someone from the Mighty Mighty Bosstones would wear. I can't describe it. It's like a Boston thing. It's like an Irish hat.
Okay.
Like a visor.
pie.
I think fucking Gronkowski probably wears one.
Okay. Scaly cap.
Just look it up.
All right.
There's a different name for it. Anyway, I've never worn them. I think they're stupid. I don't.
Okay.
So anyway, this dude starts telling me he doesn't have kids. He starts telling me about how you should discipline your kids or whatever, because maybe my kid was being loud or some shit, which makes it even worse.
Okay.
And he comes over.
But you were at an outdoor event.
Yeah.
And your kid was being
like
loud.
on a deck, on a porch or something, right? It's not like he wasn't in the yard. Anyway, I don't even know if my kid was there.
Right.
But this dude just comes over to me and starts talking about nonsense about how you handle kids. I wrote a blog post about it. I'm like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, he's got nephews, right? Guess what?
He's got nephews, so he knows.
Yeah, he knows.
Totally.
He knows the whole thing. You hang out with your nieces and nephews 2 hours a day.
Did you ask him to hold on while you got
over the course of a weekend? No, it's all up here.
Okay, got it.
Having a kid for 2 hours over the course of the weekend is not the fucking same as 24/7, 365, right? So get out of my face with that shit.
Yeah.
Just because you had a taste doesn't mean you have any clue.
Did you flip his scally cap?
No, I was very nice to him in person. I think I just humored him. He's, you know what? He's kind of like a Dwight Schrute kind of guy from The Office.
Okay. He sounds like he might be. So he just came right up to you.
This is a composite character.
He came up to you and he basically was like, you know what you should do about your obnoxious son is you should do the following 4 things.
No,
One.
It wasn't that overt. Okay. He was just opining, right? And he knew that I wrote probably a blog or something like that because I think my brother would talk about it sometimes, but I don't remember like that. I kind of feel like I don't want to. He doesn't have kids. I don't necessarily want to have a conversation about parenting with this dude, right? And I don't like the idea that because I write a blog, he thinks that I constantly want to talk about parenting. Yeah. I hope you guys will tune into the parenting podcast that we're doing on a weekly basis because apparently this is literally all I talk about.
Yes.
But he came up to me and he like acted like maybe I don't know if he thought I thought of myself as an expert,
right? Which
I don't,
right?
Because that makes me feel really gross inside.
I know,
and I don't know anything.
Well,
my kid's 8.
You have a blog that's dying, and now you have a podcast.
It's pretty much
on
dead.
YouTube.
Yeah, but I'm not an expert. I will never present myself as an expert because I have fucking 2 kids, which is nothing. As you know, you have 3. Yeah, already more of an expert.
Way more.
Your kids are older. Or at least one of your kids is older.
Definitely.
Which makes you more an expert because you now have experience with different ages.
Yep.
You have girl and boy.
I have
right?
all of it.
So you have all of it mixed. I just have boys, right? There's so much shit I don't know. I don't have teenagers, right? What am I talking about? I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't necessarily like it when someone asks me for advice, but
is
I do
this how
like
you go into every job interview? I don't really have a fucking clue about what I'm doing, but
please don't act like I know what I'm doing. Right? That's
okay.
I'm not that presumptuous.
No, but I think I think you've got a point of view.
I have a point of view. That's it, and I got jokes. Hopefully,
and then
I'm mean, right? And I think sometimes people enjoy that, especially and be mean to you a bunch. Yeah.
And then I brought my
we don't
computer.
like each other, and you brought your stupid computer.
And then I was like, let's podcast this shit.
Yeah, that's right. It was your idea, right? So if it fails, it's your fault.
It most likely will be. So what about childish
Gambino? I'm actually a fan.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
What about from other parents? Do you take advice from other parents? Do you solicit advice from other parents? No,
I
has anyone
never
ever been like,
solicit
what
advice.
do you do?
This is the problem, though, because
When-
people aren't overt,
yeah.
right? So I'll like maybe tell an anecdote or describe something that's going on with my kids, and I'll never say, "What do you think I should do?" or "Do you have any advice?" Right? So then the burden is on the other person to decide whether I'm actually asking for advice or not. And guess what? I never am. And if you offer it to me, I'm gonna get mad at you
Okay.
because you know what?
I'm not. I got to be honest. I'm not totally sure I followed all of that. So, there was
Nate, did that make any sense?
I wasn't listening.
yeah.
All right.
no
So
one was
I'll
listening.
instead of saying "Give me your advice," I'll tell a story that begs for advice. Right, and then it's
Okay,
on
so give
the
me
other
this- what do you
person
mean?
to decide whether they want to take the chance of putting forth advice or not.
So then
So,
I.
no,
So
I
then
don't-
there was a lot of blood, and I don't know. Maybe you should go to the hospital.
How
Hospital,
dare
eh?
you tell me
Maybe.
what I should do? Right?
Yeah. Okay.
That's the reaction.
And then immediately,
Right, yeah.
what the? How
what
fucking
the
dare you?
fuck? You
And
think
then
you know
and then
better than
immediately,
me?
like,
These are my
I
kids.
literally will be right back.
Yeah, and I go
And
to the
then
bathroom.
go take
I
care
was
of your
a weak
son.
bladder.
who's
Oh, my
bleeding.
son. Yeah.
I just I'm trying to understand the type of
People
situation
give advice
you're
like
in.
crazy online, like I said, like I'll
Yeah.
write a blog post and underneath they'll offer their advice.
Oh, you
Someone
should-
will
yeah.
message me separately and be like, I don't know, but have you tried this? Right, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Usually what I'm talking about is come and gone months in advance, months ago. So like if there were a problem, I've solved it
Right.
already, right? So
Do you ever check out the hook while the DJ
I
revolves it?
don't do that
Okay.
because it's irresponsible in front of my children.
That's a good point.
So no, I don't ask for advice. I do sometimes get it. But like then there's like my parents will sometimes give advice, and
Yeah.
it's like the world has
I
changed.
can't remember.
Mom
I can't remember if my parents
has
have
ever
even
given
made-
you advice. Well, they've seen you with your kids. They've been like, he's beyond help. There's nothing.
They've basically just said this is a lost
But like
cause.
it makes me nervous to give advice sometimes, right? Because
I mean, my parents give me advice about my life all the time, but
All the time.
not. I can't. Maybe I'm just totally blocking it out about my kids.
yeah, I will say in all honesty, like when I go home and somebody, especially my brother who didn't have kids, and we'd suggest something like my kid would act up or something, and my brother would suggest something, that shit makes me angry.
the fuck out of my house
Yeah.
is what you have to
Yeah.
say to that. I do. I now remember. So I remember when we had just had our first, and she had trouble sleeping. She wasn't an easy kid to put to bed.
Right.
She-
Are any of them?
Yeah.
some of them.
My son, who's my youngest, is extraordinarily easy. He's the kind of person who's like, we'll go to some strange place and
And
he'll
he'll
be like,
just conk out.
he'll go, where my bed at, and he'll just like
Wow.
3 circles.
Where my bed at? That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Respect.
But my oldest daughter was not like that, and I remember my parents, both of them. She'd be sleeping, and they'd be, kind of like, oh well, let's like kind of do making noise, and I was very much like, don't make noise.
Why? Because they wanted her to get used to sleeping
And
with
yeah,
noise.
let's it's not a big deal. Like we can make noise. We can
Right.
go into her room and check her out. And I was like, no, I don't want that to be the
Right.
case because she'll wake up and then.
But that's not really. Is that advice?
No, but so I guess it's not. But it was more. She'll be okay.
Yeah.
she needs the
Yeah.
she needs
You're
the noise.
saying that, or they? Oh yeah, they are.
She
Yeah,
was
yeah.
saying. My mother was saying. My parents rather. She.
It's weird.
My parents were saying that about my daughter. Like she.
And you were like,
My
you don't
needs.
fucking know what you're
Yeah.
talking about,
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah, because if she gets up, she doesn't fucking go
Go
back
to
to
you.
sleep.
Yeah, and she's not gonna. You don't have to take care of her. I do.
Mm.
Right. That's the thing.
And that was an example
It's
of
called empathy.
that was an
Pete.
example as opposed
Not
to
enough
just
people
letting
have
me
it.
do my thing. Their parents were kind of
Right.
like, we've done this 3 times before.
Right. It's people nosing in.
You
right?
kind of come
Yeah.
in and you're like, we're totally cool, and it's like, I know you're cool, but we're not.
We're
that
not cool with that,
because
right,
this is
yes.
a new
Respect
kid. Yeah.
Our wishes when it
Yeah.
comes to the children that we produced and now own.
Yeah. By
Right.
the way, they were right, and
They were
we,
right.
we really we made
Well,
a huge
You know what?
mess of it. But yeah.
Maybe you should send your mom a note of apology.
No,
Some
come
flowers, maybe.
on. I'll go visit them at some point.
Well, anyway, we're not going to be doing that kind of shit, even though we are more than qualified
Like,
to advise you on
unbelievably
a
qualified.
variety
Yeah.
of topics.
Yeah.
I mean, Pete has a fucking computer. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And look, if you have any questions about the 2009 Blue Book for building and construction, or some shit about Pele, we got some of that here.
We can get it. I mean, I think this is going to be interactive too. Right?
I hope so. Yeah.
We want to hear from you guys.
There's a handful of people I think who, for some reason, really like my content. And like to interact with it, like my man Vincent Lavallo Jr. I think the guy right now is like waiting for my next post so he can let me know what he thinks, and I appreciate that kind of feedback, and nice. As we get some of that, maybe we'll share
he'll have some advice for you.
Go ahead, give me some advice.
How about
we'll
this?
See how that turns out.
Don't mention my name.
Yeah, keep my name out your mouth. Right, that's what you're saying. This is Vincent saying that to me.
Yeah.
Come at me, Vince.
Yeah,
come at me. That's what happens.
Yeah, so this is you have a really unique
take on
interaction with your followers,
and my fans, and my friends,
fans.
And my family. I know fans is gross, right? Sometimes
I want to hear more about this half shirt.
Well, you know what?
I want to go back to that.
I always feel like they should make,
like what happened in the 80s?
If the half shirt would cover my gut, and not my chest, I'm weirdly better with that.
Huh.
Which
like
is really
that would have to be like a tube.
Pants that go up right over your belly button. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Or you know what that reminds me of? Are we Shark Tanking this?
It reminds me of like a 1950s grandpa.
Like
just
shirtless, like an Italian grandpa or some shit. Yeah, good call.
And he'd be
but he'd have a belt.
Yeah, it'd be right up to his...
But it would have to be some kind of hybrid that looks more like a shirt, like it's the bottom of a shirt. That would be weird. Like your shirt got ripped off from the top. That's weird, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
I don't like
so no, the kid wasn't wearing a half shirt. He was wearing sleeveless T-shirt.
What about? Have you taken advice from any books and stuff?
No, I never read a single book.
I never read a single
you know what I've done? I've gone on like
book.
So like my wife will send your baby at 6 weeks is the size of a pomegranate or whatever, right?
And you're like, cool.
Sometimes I would read those back in the day just to see what the next milestone.
What a pomegranate is.
I actually really like pomegranates.
Yeah.
Huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
For a little reward.
Yep. Okay.
But delicious, and that, my friends, is parenting.
Okay. My wife. I just default to my wife, or defer to my wife on just about everything, since she is inherently the expert.
Because she's a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, look, it's biological for them. Yeah. I always say the main difference between moms and dads, at least at the beginning, is moms physically and biologically are joined with this creature, and to dads, it's all 100% theoretical.
No idea
until the day the kid comes out. So moms take an on-ramp, a 9-month on-ramp, and in some cases they've been thinking about having a kid for a really long time, for longer, right?
Like,
so
it's in their 20s.
Dads fall down an elevator shaft, right?
They do.
It's like you don't have a kid, and then boom, you do have a kid. It's not, and you can try to prepare and try to read all the books and
I'm with you.
We're pregnant, but it's still never the same.
I've met
physiologically, it's just not.
I've
the
met
same.
A couple dads
who say we're pregnant,
who are, essentially, at least they've come across as being totally at one with their unborn child.
That's it's one of the strangest statements I've ever heard.
Well,
that's how they present themselves.
That's how they present themselves. Like I'm so happy. I can't.
I'm so bonded with this child
touching,
already.
Like just always on the belly and everything. Yeah. And I was always like, okay, well,
more power to you.
Power to you, but also
stop lying.
Stop lying. You don't know what's. There is.
You don't know shit, right? Yeah. So.
And then the baby comes out, and you're like, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah, right. Nothing.
We gotta take this home.
No, you take it to the fucking fire station and realize you made a mistake. You have about 6 weeks, or I don't know how long you.
Is that when the exams start? To become a fireman?
No.
I know. It's been.
I don't know what it's called. Safe haven or something. You can give a baby away, consequence free.
New Haven.
To. Fucking Google this shit after you do Scally Cap. Safe Haven Fire Department. You can give up your kid.
Safe Haven Fire Department.
No harm, no foul. With up to a certain point.
Safe Haven law.
Yeah, what's it say?
Also known as
the
Baby Moses laws.
Do I still have any time for my 8-year-old?
8-year-old looks like it's you're a little outside.
What's the limit?
The limit, it says,
come on, 4.
Safe Haven. Often number bracelet linking
Come
the baby
on,
to the
this
parent.
is fucking riveting.
Some states treat safe haven surrenders as child dependencies or abandonment.
Oh my god.
It doesn't give a time.
You're not very good at like
reading quickly.
Yeah.
No.
That's a shame.
Baby Moses law.
Baby Moses, because Moses was set adrift on the river.
Yeah, it doesn't.
He was abandoned.
I'm not seeing. Oh, here we go.
Oh my god.
Up to 30 days old.
Oh my god. So I'm way past it on both kids.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's too bad. But see, 30 days, right?
You could definitely be arrested for leaving your kid at a fire station at this point. Whereas
yes,
you
at this
wouldn't be under arrest if your baby was under 30 days
29 days old. No. You know what? You'd be a hero.
That's a real.
You'd be a role model.
That's
is
a
what you
really
would be.
weird window because it's the 30-day. It's sort of like buyer beware. I feel like by day 8,
you know. Well, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
That's true.
You know, a lot of guys not going to bond with their kid. Even a lot of moms not going to necessarily bond with their kid at the beginning. It takes a while.
I think that's also true. I mean, I think that
that's also true.
It is when the first time your kid really smiles at you. I think is
like,
really,
and it's not gas.
And it's not gas.
Yeah. Or when he grabs your little finger, or when his little hand grabs your finger.
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
That is sweet.
My kid peed on my face one of the first times I changed him. That was not the bonding moment.
Worst parent ever.
No, I love that little guy.
Yeah.
The hammer.
Have you ever given advice to people?
I had a little advice column on my blog. I feel like I think I'm pretty good at personal life advice, and not necessarily that good at parenting advice.
Giving personal advice.
Yeah, well, sometimes someone will ask me, and
you're like, "Why are you wearing that shirt?"
No.
Like
well,
that.
It depends.
With
Is it a
those
half
shoes.
shirt? I don't give fashion advice. What am I, crazy? And I'm terrible at giving directions. It makes me so nervous, and I have a terrible sense of direction. But parenting advice, no, I try to stay away from it, right? And I'll write a blog post, which I think is essentially me making my opinion known on something.
Okay.
The only real parenting advice I give is fucking vaccinate your damn kids.
Yeah, come on.
Right?
That's just so...
I wrote about spanking. I don't spank my kid, but I was spanked, and I don't necessarily feel like my life was destroyed because of it. And then there will be someone who says, actually, the psychological effects probably have impacted your personality and the way that you... Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I'll lay out some stuff. I'll lay out some stuff that makes my opinion clear, but I'm never going to be like, you need to do this unless I'm talking about vaccinations.
Yeah. That's good. I'm with you on that one. What's one piece of advice that you wish you had? Had been given?
Only have one kid.
Really? No.
I love my both my kid and my second kid to death, but yeah, I think one kid's easier. Oh shit!
No,
we're opening up the
really?
firestorm. What?
No, one kid can be tough, man.
I think it's all tough. It's all tough.
Yeah.
We had a lot of debate. Early on in my blog, I wrote about, is it okay to just have one kid? Like, get off my back if you just want to have one kid. And then the other side, he needs a sibling because socialization and you don't want him to grow up to be a prick.
Yeah.
But I think the only child thing is
too late.
Or
you just
me.
raised two pricks.
Yeah. Or 3.
Yeah.
I was the youngest of 3.
Okay.
So maybe they just raised 1.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's tough. The more you have, it gets just logistically, it gets harder and harder. Like within your finances and stuff, it's definitely more expensive. It's not any less challenging. It's just
the expense part really only comes in when it comes to schooling.
Yeah, sure, but that can be pretty expensive. Massive. But also, diapers and double the food and stuff. Yeah. I hate my kids are starting to eat.
Yeah,
I don't need this.
No.
I used to be able to finish off their shit.
Yeah,
I loved it.
And now you can't.
No, now he starts eating some of mine too. Now the toddler is finally starting to eat. He ate a fucking whole piece of pizza last night. Guess what? That was gonna be mine. He's gonna take a go at it, take 2 bites. We're gonna say you don't get dessert. He'll take 2 more bites, and then I get the rest.
Right.
But nope,
he just crushed it.
Yeah, those days are over.
I was thinking more. It was a joke. Tactical.
Yeah, I know that was mostly a joke, although it got kind of serious.
Yeah, well, that was good. The thing I always think of whenever someone's about to have a kid is just equipment. You just need the right equipment.
Yeah, like how big are they?
Well, yeah, no, you just need the right equipment. I think like you need a pack and play.
Yeah.
You need a bucket car seat.
But that's not advice.
Well, but you see these people buying strollers, and the strollers are fundamentally.
But a lot of people
ridiculous.
get some of that shit as gifts, at like the baby shower.
But
and stuff.
do you know? I see.
But you can do a registry where you put the wrong kind of stroller because you're stupid.
Well, no, people are like, oh, this is an Italian stroller. It's like $1,500 for a fucking stroller. That's got fabric.
Bro, this podcast is for the 99%. Okay,
I know,
buddy?
I know.
Not the 1% over here with you and your $1,500 stroller friends.
They're not my friends because they're walking around in $1,500 strollers. My point being is that usually these strollers, they don't fold out. What you need is you need compactability, you need durability, and you just need it to work
Throw
quickly.
in some brand names. Let's get some sponsors. What do you got?
Oh,
Bugaboo? Is that one?
Geico?
Geico. That's insurance.
Greco.
I don't think you're getting their endorsement. McLaren?
Well, no, I'm talking about the car seat bucket to that like wire framed rolling stroller.
We all know what
that's
a car
all
seat
you
is.
need, and you can go anywhere. You can go on the train, you can go on a plane, you can go anywhere you
or
need.
in an automobile.
You can go in an automobile.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, I knew you'd really take that one home, so that was good.
You don't even know what I'm talking about. That's the sad thing.
I know.
But hey, listeners, if you do,
no,
I'm not gonna say. Just send it over to me.
You're talking about planes, trains, and automobiles. The John Candy.
Oh, look at you! You're full of surprises. Who's the other guy in it?
Steve Martin.
Look at you.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
But that's it. So I would say pack and play. Pack and play you use for everything.
Well, at the beginning especially, and then when you ever go to somebody's house or whatever,
it's just it's the gift that literally keeps on giving. The bucket, the stroller frame the bucket goes into the car seat bucket I'm talking about, and then the diaper.
That part sucks where you need that huge car seat and like the bassinet.
Well, I mean, that's the thing that I don't get is you see these people taking the kid out of what they could have just been.
Well, but a lot of people wear like wraps and shit, right?
They like wraps?
Some people like wraps and those baby Bjorns. I always thought the baby Bjorns were weird because the kid faces out.
Yeah.
But then when you wear the other one, it's like you're suffocating your child. I used to always worry about that.
Yeah. I prefer Bjorn over the Ergo.
And then there's the wrap. The Moby wrap or something.
The wrap, that really is like you're going to suffocate. I have concerns about that. You're not.
Wow. Controversy.
But I'm just
already.
saying that I would feel.
Yeah, no, I always felt that way wearing the Ergo.
The kid,
because when they're really little and their face just leans on your chest, I was always making sure he was breathing. But when you first have a kid, you're constantly, like the first 3 months of being a parent, 95% of it is making sure your kid's still breathing. Yeah. Just like sneaking in during a nap and overnight. Why is he being quiet for the first time in his life?
Oh my God.
And the last.
And the second you check,
and you try to crawl out, you get frozen.
That's
you try to crawl out.
Single cry before.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
I don't know. Well,
anyway,
So that's all the advice.
Yeah, I don't get. Look, we don't have advice. We're not going to offer you advice.
But we want to hear. We want to hear
your advice on what Pete can do better as a podcaster. As a friend,
just as a person,
and a husband, and a person with the goddamn computer.
Yeah,
you know what?
But look, because it's here, so I like use it. Stuff.
Yeah, he does, and he had to look up
Safe
Scally
Haven.
Cap and Safe Haven, and I fucking owned you on both of those.
The Scally Cap,
and that's going to be an ongoing theme. The competition, the inherent competition between Pete and I on this podcast. We want to know who won each episode.
Yeah,
let us know at the end.
So you're gonna ask your followers.
Yep. Guess what? Maybe if you wanted to have, a chance, you should have built up your social following.
I don't want any social following.
You're going to get crushed on a weekly basis.
I have an email.
What is it? Yahoo.
Peter@DadandBuried.com.
Oh, my God. You wish. I'm never giving you that goddamn email address.
How about P@DadandBuried.com?
P-E-E?
No, just P.
Oh, no.
P. Okay.
No, you're not getting an address.
Pete.
With Dad and Buried in it.
Okay.
I'll tell you that much.
Well, maybe next time. What do we have anything from anyone from your audience?
No, we don't.
No.
You know what?
This is it.
Keeping the slate clean.
Okay.
We wanted you guys to come in hot and fast.
Yeah.
And hit us with some questions and some suggestions and
we're going to be doing
jokes.
We're going to be doing topics every week, right? And
we will, and I will let you know what the topic is going to be a couple days beforehand. And so you guys can send in your thoughts. And hopefully you'll suggest some good stuff because, if you don't, this thing's going to crash and burn real quick.
Faster.
And it actually may have already
faster.
about halfway through this thing.
Crash and burn faster.
Faster.
The fire's already on the wings.
I think it started about halfway through this episode, but it's our first one, so cut us a little bit of slack.
But we want to hear from you, and I think that's it. I think the majority of what we want to do is talk about a topic and then hear from you guys and
shit on a bunch of kids in the process.
Let's get our shit on.
If you got any kids that you wanted me to trash, just let me know what they've been wearing lately.
Half shirts.
Yeah. No, the half shirt kit we decided is cool. Like a mesh half shirt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, those
with
were cool.
Sleeveless.
Those are really hard to tackle. Like playing football, it can hurt your fingers a little bit. Those fucking mesh shirts, right?
Bastards. All right. Well,
thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
And we'll hit you on the flip flop.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, guys.